So, hey guys, Tim Gillette, author, creator of the Rock and Roll Keys to Business Success. We are back here with another episode of Rock Around Your Blog, where we take different ideas on blogging and branding, taking your personal story, sharing it on a blog to help build your business. That is what this idea about Rock Around Your Blog is all about. We go out and we actually look for ideas to help you build a blog and tell your story better on a blog. We believe that the blog is the greatest foundation on the web for you to have as what we call the home place. That's your home base on the internet. While we talk an awful lot about what social media can adapt to, how you can do things with social media, we look for the tools on social media that help make your blog work. Because one of my biggest beliefs is in the online world is you need to have a home, a piece of a real estate on the internet. And welcome, Jenny. A piece of real estate on the internet where people can come back to find out about you on a regular basis. So, and Coach Jenny, if you want to jump in, if you can, you're more than welcome to as well. So today I wanted to bring up this subject. This is something I've been studying. If you notice some of the things I've been doing on my Facebook, if you follow me on Facebook, is I've been asking questions that were random. Choose one, choose two, go. And then you tell me your answer. To see the responses I would get. Now, I took them from I started with an idea of something general, or just our general things on Friday, where I said, hey, wait, if you could take a day off, what would you do? Gave it endless opportunities for you to say what you wanted to do for your opportunity. Then the next one I took down by the end of the day was, okay, if you had a choice between this and this, which one would you choose? And some people picked one, some people picked the other. Others went into the idea of, well, I don't want that because, I don't want that because. Then we got well, I only want this. This is my ultimate dream. So then when I went into Saturday, and I did the same thing again on Saturday. On Saturday on my Facebook, and by the way, I did these questions. I do them from my phone while sitting at coffee with my wife in the morning. I just randomly think of it, and while we're sitting at coffee, I quick type it in on the phone on Facebook. So it's not a long post. It's just a question. Yes, no. What do you want? Right, left. Top, bottom, black, white, green, orange. What do you want? And I do that. And then today I asked the question that I went a little more in depth. And I said, so when you took tests as a kid, which did you like best? Did you like the multiple choice? Did you like just the true false questions? Or do you like to write the essay and give your own answer? Which is it? And I got a few different responses. But as the choices got more, all right, and it became more serious in the question, less people responded. And here's why I wanted to bring that up. When I brought about this tool today, when I talk about the online tools, online and creating what we call a land of confusion. I am starting to see, and this is my opinion, and I hope people jump in, and a lot of people who are coming in are busy in the afternoon. This is a busy time of the day. But I did not want to, I was going to schedule this an hour earlier, but Coach Jenny was doing one, and I don't ever, there's several people I don't schedule opposing blabs next to unless I'm going to have fun. Coach Jenny's one of them. Unless we're going to have fun, then we have fun. But no, I try not to. I try not to schedule around certain people if their topics are going to be close to my topics and they have a different opinion. I don't want to overlap them because of the exact thing I'm going to talk about today. Is the land of confusion. Too many of us are given too much information and we're not willing to step up and make a decision. Well, recently, I've noticed an awful lot of apps. And yes, Jenny, I'm going to pick on this new one. I've tried it, but what is it, the audio one? It's, I forget what it's called, Anchor or something like that. It's just too much for me. I tried it over the weekend. I tried to do a couple things, and for me to do a voice thing just doesn't work, Then before that, it was, we got to try Mevi, and we've got to be on this, and we've got to be on that, and we've got to be on Periscope, and we'll check out this new plugin that will work to keep your records for all your Periscopes. This one here will keep all the records in your blabs. How many different plugins do? We create what we call a land of confusion. We are getting more and more choices out there. And because we don't have an intent, a design, or an outlet to where we are going with our businesses, we can get stuck in that confusion point where we are so trying to go, well, I need to go over here. Oh, no, I mean here and here and here and here. You can't do them all. The point of this blab today is that you got to understand where you are going. It's one of the first questions I ask my blogging clients is, what is your objective with this blog? What do you hope to accomplish? If you don't have that defined, then every time a new app comes up, you're going to jump on the bandwagon with that new app. You're going to be on your phone just, doing Meet, and then Periscope, and then Meerkat, and then Facebook Live, and then you're going to be on the new, the new app to get money. Then you're going to be on the app over here that gets you friends, and this one over here gets you new emojis, and this one here gets you certified and verified, and you're stuck in that confusion line, and you never get serious about the whole intention of where you're going. I know Jenny, we joke a lot, but Jenny, a very serious coach. Bonnie L. Frank, another very serious coach. We get things done. We're out there to help you guys get things done. That's why we do these broadcasts for you guys, to get you set into a direction for you. I'm not setting this direction for Tim to come up here and talk about this to get you to follow Tim's direction. No, I'm in the I'm not sure, because she's actually doing her Periscope challenge. I'm not one of these people that are all about getting you in. Let me build my camp and get everybody going the same direction as me. No, I'm here to find out what's the direction you want to go and how can I help you get there. Because if I'm just going to create another point of confusion for you, I'm not helping you. And that's what I wanted to do this talk today. Land of confusion, blogs. I have some of the very most simplistic things on my blog to make it simple and work faster. And when I introduce a new blog, it is so easy to do it because I make it simple and faster. A couple months ago, I started on this book. Yes, Jenny, I started on a book. I used to do my first book in 3 weeks. I am on book number 3, and I am on 3 months, and I still am not even half done with this thing. And when I'm done, it's going to be a 100-page book that's taken me 3 months to write. My first 2 books together took me a month and a half to write both of them, and my third book's taken me 3 months to write it. Why? Because I can get so distracted on all the little gadgets and toys and trinkets out there that can actually sidetrack you from where you're going. So I looked at a lot of these apps out there. I got on Meevee, and I don't think I did one thing on Meevee. I think it crashed onto me, which brought me back to the very first time. Meevee hates you too. Hey, don't feel bad. It hates me too. So it crashes every time. I quit using it. It's not for me. Bye. Next. The other thing too is I play some games. Okay, so I'm honest with you guys. Is one of my friends is Monica Cornetti, who's the gamification expert. Snapchat. Okay, Snapchat's another one that I'm just not getting. Okay, I keep trying, but I'm not getting it. I actually got Instagram last year just specifically so I can use Instagram with my visits to go watch the ball games with my family. I was not getting on Instagram to try to use it for a business building tool. It was something that I wanted to use to be able to snap. And what it is it connected me, or not snap, but take pictures on Instagram to connect with other people who were at the ball game who maybe had the same interest as me, that now I can build a relationship around the Mavericks as opposed to building the relationship around some business. And so that's why I got on Instagram. Well, on Snapchat, I was like, well, that might be a good idea. But the problem is inside that arena down there, my internet sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. I switched from AT&T, which is I think it's American Airlines, which is an AT&T center, I went to Sprint. Well, it doesn't work that well with it. So so it became a hassle for me trying to actually use Snapchat in there. It's just not working the way I want it to work. So it's like, okay, so do you keep playing with your tools that aren't working, or what do you do? Hello.
Hey, Tim, how are you?
All right. How are you?
Doing fine. This is really interesting to me because I'm discovering all these new apps, because I'm always on Blab now and also Periscope trying to learn. So I'm really interested in this subject. Very interested.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you have, when you see somebody come out with a new tool, do you actually want to research it and see, hey, does this work? Or are you one of those people that are like, well, we'll see how it works out?
I tend to stand by the sidelines and see what other people have to say about it. For example, I think I've heard about, Snapchat and what's the other one? Instagram. I heard about those a long time ago, but I downloaded Snapchat twice and deleted it twice. And I was trying to figure out how I could use it, and this didn't work for me.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe later. Instagram might work for me later. I just don't see the connection right now.
Yeah.
We all have different businesses. I'm a journalist, so of course I'm always trying to reach my listeners in different ways. But I almost think that if I try too many ways to reach my readers, I think I'm just going to become invisible.
Yeah. See, every time I find a new one, like this one that we had on Friday or Thursday or Friday, we were talking about was Anchor. And it's an audio only format. Yeah. And I think I can see maybe doing an audio question, and I've gotten some people responses to my audio questions. Mm-hmm. But it's just not, I don't know. It's just not, it seems like it's okay. This is just another toy to go play with. Well, I can do the same thing with the other tools.
I checked it out as well. And I listened to some waves, as they call it.
Yeah.
And to me, it just sounded like people leaving phone messages.
Yeah.
I didn't hear any. I think maybe when someone who's really great at, what's that word? I can't even say it. Elocution. You know what I'm trying to say? Someone who's totally like someone who just speaks beautifully can probably do some poetry or word jazz or something with it. But ordinary folks like me, I just don't see the value in something that's just audio unless
Hey Jenny.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean it's and I'm sure it's going to have its niche if it's meant to last. It'll have its niche, and some people are going to use it. I was never into the podcast type things. Mm-hmm. But I've been doing a radio show for years. So am I really in podcasting or not? I don't know.
To me, Anchor is simply leaving phone messages without having made a call. That's how I.
Good point. I like that one.
Hi,
Jenny. How are you?
Hey guys. I'm gonna have to get on and off because I'm cooking my lunch, which is so lame. But while it's over there stewing, I always pay attention now to what the latest and greatest thing is, because I never know what's going to be the next blab. So this is where I stand on this one. When Blab came along, it came with the same eye roll that Anchor is this week, right? It was like, oh, here comes another one. It came with the, Blab and Periscope and Meerkat and all that stuff that came out last summer. It was like, oh, here we go again. Another toy, another app to download. And so I jumped on Blab and Periscope the same day. It's not fair at all that Periscope got thrown out very quickly with the bathwater because Blab was so much better. So Blab has completely changed the game for me. It's been amazing. So one of the things I want to do and be steadfast in is being open-minded to the next thing. I'm with you guys on Anchor. Does sound like a bunch of voice messages, which is kind of weird. It's kind of cool. It could be fun. I promise I'm going to forget it's on my phone in a week. Kind of like Instagram and
like that Instagram. So I like exactly what you said. Oh, I routinely forgot.
Yeah.
That's all I was using for pictures was Instagram.
Yeah, when I go on vacation, if you want to follow me on vacation, follow my wife's Instagram. She loves it. You know what I mean? Like you'll see everything we did, but I'll forget to I might take one picture. So I think the thing is, there is though a pressure, and I would love to hear your thoughts on this, Tim. There is a pressure in our online space, and specifically as coaches, to be freaking everywhere. Yeah. And this idea that to be everywhere means that you're spending all of your time and energy learning the next big thing and coming up with a strategy. There's a conversation on Anchor that I responded to today, probably the only one I'll respond to this week, that said, well, how are you going to use Anchor? How does it fit into your strategy? I'm like, I haven't even figured out if I like Anchor. Why am I already strategizing it? So what are your thoughts on that one?
I think that's the marketers trying to talk and get you to become interested into it. And truthfully, that's what it is. It's the marketers playing games. Meavy, a couple months ago, Meavy. And we know Robert. Oh, we lost you, Jenny. We know Robert talked about Meavy because he was on. That was one of the things that he was big on. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean? It was something he learned, he figured out, he mastered, but he was in the business of training people on that. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what I think we need to do as coaches. I think we need to go, okay, where's this relate? If I'm a Joel Comm, my idea is to talk about what's in the forefront of these things. So I need to be checking them out, see how they adapt, see ways they can use and be teaching on them. I'm not a Joel Comm. I'm a Tim Gillette. I work with blogs. So if this new app doesn't fit connecting people back to my blog like I do, I'm not going to be using it that long. All right. I don't care how great and innovative it is, but if it doesn't connect people back to where I'm trying to get and fit into my objective, then I need to let it go. And that's okay, especially as coaches. I know a lot of us as coaches on here, that's where we're getting stuck in, is all these new toys coming out. If we get so caught up in always playing with the new one and then making a strategy for it, we can never really get time for our clients, which is the reason we're using these things is to get us clients, not to learn how to use these things.
Well, to me, these apps are like clothes. You're not going to choose an app if it makes you look fat, or or if the color doesn't work. You know what I mean? So I think that each of us business owners or whatever we are need to really assess what each app does and figure out which one works the best for their business. What works for you might not work for me, but you're a coach and I'm a journalist. So, and actually, it sounds like you're actually trying to do the same thing I'm doing and get people to your blog, where I'm trying to get people to my online newspaper. But to me, until something better comes along, and I can't imagine right now something better than Blab. For me, Periscope and Blab have two completely different uses, but they're both invaluable to me.
No.
And I use totally differently.
With the two of them and video were what made me change my strategy about what I'm doing online.
What were you doing before?
My strategy online before was writing. Now I'm using video to interact with my audience on a regular basis. And I use video not just here on Blab or on Periscope, but when I get to a blog post, I'm bringing video into it. Today's blog post on my blog was a discussion around a TV commercial that I found interesting. Okay. So I found the TV commercial on YouTube and I put it up there, and then to get the conversation going, it was the commercial was the one what we found interesting was the Geico one, where it's called, you know what I mean? There's squirrels in the attic or something. Or if you're a mom, that's what you do. And it's this guy who's running up the stairs, runs into a helicopter, and then turns around and the phone rings and he goes, "Where are you?" And he's like, it looks like a spy or something, right? And it's his mother on the other end of the phone going, "There's squirrels in the attic again." And it's a Geico advertisement saying, if you're a mom, you call at the wrong time.
Oh, wow.
I found it hilarious. Why? Wow. Because that's my mother. My mother would always call at the wrong time. All right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the times because my mother might listen, okay, that she calls and I would embarrass her. But then I thought about it, and I wrote my blog post today, as I talked about in the blog post, I talked about, are you predictable? And what I talked about was, even though my mom's that way, and my mom may get upset that I'm talking about my mom saying she calls at the wrong time, she immediately is going to think about her mother calling at the wrong time, which was something her mother did.
They just represent all moms. That's fine.
Yeah, it represents all moms. So, and it's transferable back to the point that, okay, now I can take this and talk about predictability and go back, well, my mom did it and her mom did it. How many of us have generation things in our family where we generationally still do the same thing 3 generations later?
Well, I like that. That's really brilliant.
Yeah. So I took a video, though, and the video's in my blog, and then I talk about it.
Okay.
I actually, somehow or another, I'm going to do a video or a blog, and I'm going to take a video. I got a picture, and Jenny, the thing that we did with Jenny on Friday was just so hilarious. I don't know how it ever got blown up to where it was, but the entire time we were doing it was funny. And we have no objective to it. We just thought we'd do something entertainment, and one step led to another step, which led to another step. And we were having so much freaking fun, it wasn't funny anymore.
I saw part of that. Yeah.
It just was so funny. Well, I'm going to do a blog post about that and talk about sometimes you just need to get distracted.
I love that you're doing that, Tim. I would love to contribute because, the whole purpose, like the seed of what you were doing was we were having a blab about nothing. That's what we call it, because once in a while when you work alone in your apartments behind a computer screen, it's nice to set up your own water cooler to talk about what happened on Scandal last night or whatever the heck, you know what I mean? Yes. And so that was the whole point of it. And so then when it got out of hand and kind of got crazy, it was amazing. So as much as, I would say publicly on my blabs that Tim was being a pain in the ass.
So
I so love that you did it.
That's a blab you don't record though. You know what I mean? You don't record that one. That's just
correct. It's off the record.
Authentic.
Exactly.
But it's like the way it blew up. We've got to tell that story someplace.
Yeah, it was super fun. I love that you caught some of that. But no, that's the thing. You guys were talking about the pressure to be everywhere and the frustration to be everywhere. I think it's so much more important that we learn how to be good and really good at the platforms that best support how we best show up. I think that's why Blab works for some people and Periscope works for some people. And then some of you really smart people are able to handle both, where you're able to perform in those venues or in those spots and show up really strategically and in the way that your clients or would-be clients are going to best resonate with you. Do you agree?
Yeah,
I do agree. And like I was saying earlier, you have to figure out which platform works the best for you and what's the best way to use the platform. Like for me, I use Periscope and Blab. I mean, two totally different reasons. In the morning, now I have been having technical problems with Periscope lately. But what I had been doing is using Periscope every morning to, she's stirring lunch again.
She's still stirring, yeah, I know. She's
wonder what she has. Wonder what she has. Wonder what she's cooking.
She's awesome. That's all right. I don't mind Jenny coming in and out. She's
cool. I just wonder what she's cooking. But anyway, in the morning, I make announcements. Like I told you, I have an online community newspaper. It's a website, but I still call it a newspaper. And every morning, I go to my newspaper and I see what's happening today, make a list, and then I make the announcements on Periscope. And what I do with that is that I don't tell the address and the phone number and the website. And I say, for more information, I just tease them. And I say, for more information, it's on the sports page or the health page or whatever of the Durham Skywriter. So my readership is going way up because they're wanting to know the rest of the story. So they can attend these events. Another thing that I'm doing with Periscope, well, I do a very limited basis because my phone is only a 3G, so I get a lot of pixelation problems. But my plan when I get a better phone is to take tours of Durham, to show off Durham, and to just have little adventures when I go to different advertisers and even if they're not an advertiser and they're putting on a special event, I want to be able to show you what's happening. And I was able to do that this weekend when they were giving away a lot of free food to poor people. So I made announcements, if you're having a hard time or whatever. I interviewed the proprietor and showed the cook and it was really, really community media, which is probably the opposite of what everybody else is doing because everybody else wants the world. I'm trying to reach my community, my city.
Yeah.
Now
that's what you reach your community first.
Right. Now with Blab, it's totally different because I'm using it to interview people. I had a show last night and I have to be really careful. I'm learning that with Blab, I'm not going to let anyone in I don't know because I have to be very careful. Now, you were talking about shows getting out of hand. That's fun off the record. But for me, if I'm doing a real show, I'm very hyper aware that not only is this show going to be put up on my YouTube channel, but it's also going to be aired on cable TV.
Yes.
In Durham and Chapel Hill next door. So I have to be very careful. No language, no weird stuff. Yeah. So you have to really figure out which platform is best for you and really work it.
Yes. So here, let me ask this in the discussion for us because it's something I want to think about. how can we use these platforms? All right. And, you know what I mean? Jenny, if you can pop in when you can on this, if not, type in the chat board onto it and I'll read it. But imagine you've had a setback in your business. You've failed at something. You've had a tough time. How can a platform, any of these platforms, whether it be these ones here, even the Anchor one or Snapchat, how can we then use them to, shall we say, reinvent ourselves and make a comeback?
I always tell people to contact local media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've noticed that it seems that I'm the only regular media outlet on Blab, at least on a regular basis. But I'm hoping more media outlets will eventually join Blab. But I'm thinking that if you're really clever, you can have someone on Periscope who's with the media to visit your business, and you can really drum up support, because if you have to be careful of what you acknowledge on the air, of course. Yeah. But if you know your message and you stick to it, and you interact well with the camera, and the media is sympathetic to your plight or whatever, I think that could do an awful lot for local business or online.
I remember, this is now before internet, and it would be 1988. I lived in Massachusetts in 1988. And I remember the ups and downs of the 1988 election. I think that was between Bush and there was a governor of Massachusetts at the time. And what they did was a media thing. Someone actually did a media an interview and said, I want to take you through. And it was like some celebrity basically said, come on, I want to tell you, introduce this guy, Michael Dukakis. That was his name. I want to take you and show you what his house is like. I want to show you where he lives. And they did a walkthrough of his home. They showed you his lawnmower that he had from how long or whatever. But now we have the technology to do that. And we have a tool like this, like Periscope or Meet. These are places that you go. If you've got an audience that you've built there, you've got connections on there, that you would now take this device and go, hey, apparently get somebody to do it for you with their audience, I would think. All right. As a coach, as a speaker, as a business owner, you're going to mess up in life. It's just part of life. We're going to mess up. Right. So now take that and go, let me do a walkthrough. Hey, let me check you out. Let me show you here, George, because I realize some of you're wondering, okay, what is George going through now that his business is on a downturn? Let's go talk to George real quick and go do an interview with him on Periscope.
Exactly. That's a good idea. But you know what else you should do, especially if you're someone who wants to reinvent yourself? Every now and then, do a search on Twitter, Periscope, whatever, Blab, and type in the name of your city. And follow people who are, so that you get instant. Sometimes they'll follow you back and they'll watch your show or whatever. So if you're in business, I highly suggest that you type in the name of your city. And even if you're like me and you live next to several smaller cities, surrounding your town, follow people in those smaller cities as well. Also type in the name of your state. Follow your local university, because the universities are starting to get clever too.
Yeah.
And then people will follow you back. The mayor follows me, which is pretty wild.
That's good.
The airport is following me. You can get really interesting followers if you make the first move and follow them, because they'll be curious about you. Well, in my case, I already had name recognition because I've been in business for about 12 years. But still, for anyone, I would still make that suggestion that they follow people in their towns on all the platforms, and make sure that they follow back, or at least reach out to them and tell, so that when try
to connect. Yeah.
Because I'm a real proponent of conquering your local turf first. Yeah. A lot of people want worldwide recognition, which is great, but your money's going to, depending on your business, for a lot of us, our money's going to come from our neighbors as opposed to people in France and Tanzania, whatever.
Does that advice also work for us city dwellers? I'm in Los Angeles now. I was in New York before.
I would say so for sure. Definitely. Absolutely. Durham is not it's not a small town. We have about 250,000. I'm from Chicago, Chicago originally, so to me it's a small town, but really, we're kind of
It's a city.
bustling. Yeah, we have Duke University, we have North Carolina Central University, and then University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill right next door. And then we have a bunch of big-time hospitals and Research Triangle Park, which is where a lot of this high tech is coming from. So we've got a lot of heavy hitters in this area. So, and I know you do in Los Angeles. That just goes without saying. So I would definitely, if I were you, I would see who was on Periscope, who's whatever app you're using, platform.
Mm-hmm.
Find out who's using it in your town and figure out if there's a way that you can connect.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting they bring that up because as somebody, I just moved to LA last summer from New York City. So from the biggest city in the country to the second biggest city in the country. And so when you live in, big urban areas, focusing locally, at least for me, has not been something I've obsessed with. Again, like you said, depends on what your business is. So my business is kind of worldwide. I have people all over the place. Okay. Ironically, I have to think, not one person in LA is paying me right now. Everybody's from somewhere else, So
can you tell me what you do?
Sure. I'm a coach. I don't want to blab jack. I'm being careful, Tim. I'm a colleague of Tim's. Tim, your video is all frozen up.
Is it?
Oh, it's a little better. It's just a little.
A little?
Is he? You are slightly pixelated.
You're pixelated. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay.
But
stay here. Hold my seats and keep talking.
We'll keep going.
Okay. We'll talk among ourselves.
So yeah, I'm a coach. I do business and life coaching.
Okay. So it seems to me you'd have all kinds of clients in LA.
I just haven't worked at that. I've been working the online angle for so long. I haven't thought about the local. So I love that you bring that up. It's a really interesting perspective.
I think that would be, especially if you don't see other coaches getting any attention from the media, then why shouldn't it be you, right?
I like that. I like how you're thinking. Mm-hmm. The only coaches I know that get a lot of media attention here in LA are like the wackadoodle ones. So I think I could hang.
Well, see, you can be the alternative to the wackadoodles.
Yes. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, Tim? I'm the alternative to wackadoodle.
Wackadoodles, yeah.
Do you believe it?
But I know some of those wackadoodles, so
yes, personally, you do. You do. No, I love that. I think that's extraordinarily helpful. Thank you for that advice. I think you're right. We do start looking at the whole world, and if we don't look in our own backyard, we're missing out on a tremendous opportunity.
Because you can help each other. Now, Tim, you had alluded to, you mentioned like maybe somebody is needing some help with their business or whatever. I can tell you 2 instances where I saw businesses helping each other. I have an advertiser. They're a auto service fix-it shop, and I noticed when I was going to pick up my my ad revenue, and I noticed a gentleman working on a car, and I recognized him because he had advertised with me in the past. He only worked on the high-end cars, and I remember him going out of business in like 2000. When the economy went nuts. And he just like disappeared off my radar. And I saw him at what I would think would have been a competitor shop working on a car. And so I asked the lady, I said, "Hey, what's my man doing here?" And she said, "Well, we don't want him to completely, go out of business. So he's bringing his clientele to us and serving his clients in our shop to help him out."
Yeah.
And then I had another advertiser whose business totally burned down. And he got phone calls from his competitors saying, "Hey, man, if you need some help, you can come, work out of my shop." Mm-hmm. So I think people are just naturally nice and they're wanting to help each other. And I think we need to realize that. I don't even see other newspapers as my competitors. I'll have them on my show at the drop of a hat,
Yeah.
So I really think it's really important to make local connections.
It is. It's important to make local connections. It's important to notice. Oh, man, I got to make. Can you hear that echo on me or no?
No, you sound good.
I think I fixed it. Did I fix it, Jenny? Okay.
Better. Okay.
But yeah, you're very important. Too often we get caught up into who's the competition, who's doing this, who's doing that, and that's it. I mean, and again, going back to what we're talking about here today is I mean, so many things can come out there, and that's life. It's gonna get tough out there when you take and use the tools properly. If you know what tools you're using, it's very easy. And you talked about then taking it local, very very important, but local. Here on Blab, we're a community. I know that as a coach, if there's something I'm dealing with, I've got so many people in the community I can reach out to. I can reach out to Jenny personally. I can reach out I could reach out to Bonnie personally. You know what I mean? Vicky Fitch, reach out to her personally. Why? Because I've connected with these people. And now we're like a community. If I'm going through a downtime, I know if I'm going through a downtime and I'm having a tough time making sales, I know 2 salespeople on here I can call.
Nice.
You know, Jenny and I both know from here in town, the person who actually got me on Blab, all right, to begin with, and interested into it was a girl in here, Erin Smith, the Starters Club. You know, community. You know, that's it. By plugging into the local community and them going, oh yeah, these are the people you can trust. Got me out there trying it to find out this new tool. I wouldn't have gone through this tool. She got you on Blab too. I never thought about it. Never. I mean, I was on Periscope, but I really wasn't doing anything active. I didn't have an active plan with it. I just would put it on and do a random scopes every now and then. Nothing.
You should get a good enough try though. I mean, how long did you try Periscope?
Periscope. I was on Periscope since last April.
Whoa.
And I don't think I have 500 followers on Periscope.
Oh. Okay. Did you successfully move them over to Blab? They know where you are, right?
Some of them do, but I have more of a following on here than I do on Periscope.
Interesting. Okay. See, I tell people who give up one platform for another to at least make a showing every now and then so that you can let people know I'm still here, but I just happen to have moved over to this platform and check me out over there. Don't leave your customers hanging. They might think you died or something.
Yeah, from Periscope, I wasn't getting that much of a conversion. I look at these tools for me are not. I'm not on here today to make a sale. I'm on here today to build my list, to get people to come over to do something with me, to connect with me, to sign up for my webinars, my trainings that I do. That's what I'm trying to take it. I'm not here to try to make a sale.
Okay.
Whereas, you know, you get into Periscope, I was not able to do that because I don't know. I think what it was is because I'm teaching. When I get on Periscope, it's like me being a preacher on a thing, and I'm talking and sharing without feedback.
See,
it's just me letting go.
To me, that's the best use of Periscope because, like I said, in my case, I'm making daily announcements. So I'm not necessarily trying to get people to advertise with me, but my hope is that while you're learning what's happening today in Durham, that you'll remember the name Durham Skywriter. And when you want to advertise, or if you have information for me, then you'll remember to contact me. Yeah. So I'm not really selling. In fact, even on Blab, I'm not really ever selling. I'm really all about information. Maybe I'm a little bit too soft on the selling thing, but
do you have an objective for being here?
I'm hanging out tonight. In fact, I did.
Well, not this Blab.
Not this one, but seriously, when you're on Blab, you have an objective for what you're doing. I just told you what my objective is. I'm trying to get people to come around my list. I am.
Yeah, I guess my approach might be a little softer, but I'm always pleased when people, think of the Durham Skywriter and do business with me. As far as my interview show, like my show last night, there's absolutely no objective there except to introduce people to an up-and-coming comedian. That's just something I just love to interview people. And of course, at the end, I mentioned the Durham Skywriter, and I asked people to read it and whatnot. Hopefully, again, I will get advertisers from there. I'm also always looking for people to interview, and sometimes people are watching, and they might be a lawyer or whatever, and then I find out, hey, I've got a new resource for my legal page. So it's not all about sales for me, but again, of course, I'm looking. I have content. I have pages to fill. So in a way, it's kind of like sales, sort of.
Well, it doesn't always have to be sales, if I may. I mean, I have two distinct reasons to be on Blab. And one is primary, one is secondary. And the primary one is actually to provide access and opportunity to my existing community. So I joined Blab. I have a Facebook community that's basically my workplace, right? Like this is my place of business, is that Facebook group. And so when I come on Blab, I thought, what a great way to provide more content and access and opportunity for these folks to get to know each other, to spend time with me, to talk about things we're already talking about in that community live and in person and in the moment. That's my first priority. So is that sales or not? I don't care. But I think it's really important because what it does is it drives engagement. So I come here and host at least one Blab Monday through Thursday that is dedicated for that community. I do other Blabs, but that's what's dedicated for that community. So that's my primary one. My secondary one is I get to meet new people that might join the community. They might not. They might be colleagues. I might learn something. That's secondary. Whereas I think a lot of other people, their primary reason to be on a lot of these social medias is to meet new people. New people is secondary to me. And I find that to be kind of rare. I don't hear that very often. But what I love about Blab is, yes, you do meet new people, but if you make that your secondary goal and you make the people that you've already made, deepening those connections here, your first goal, it changes everything.
That's really good. That's really good.
But yeah, it's not necessarily direct to sales, though I'll admit that the session that Tim didn't schedule at the same time as me, I was doing an information session for one of my programs. It was directly selling. So there's nothing wrong with that either, because I've made, in my opinion, I've made tons and tons of deposits into the community's trust by providing tons of access and opportunity and content, and that once in a while when I make a withdrawal, it ain't no thing. Nobody has any problem with saying, oh yeah, that's right, she's in business. What is she doing now? I want to be a part of that, because they've had all that experience with me.
That's really
to be working great.
That's really good.
That's it. And that's it. See, that's what I was trying to get at, is you have a purpose. You know what you're doing. Whereas that's why when the new app comes out, yeah, I'll try it. But if it doesn't fit the purpose where I'm already going.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't, it's like when you go to the car lot to buy a car, all right? If you've got 3 cars at home, you're probably not buying another standard car. You know what I mean?
And that's why it was weird when they gave you toaster ovens, right? Like,
yes,
you're there for a car, not a toaster. I don't want a bagel. What the heck? So it's the same thing. You have to have a reason. And if you are a social media guru and your reason is to be on the bleeding edge, not just the cutting edge, the bleeding edge of every technology out there, then I get why you're out there doing that.
Yeah.
But for the rest of us, not so much. And it's very interesting. Snapchat seems to be the favorite candy of the day. Has anybody else noticed that?
Yeah,
every Blab is on Snapchat. Everybody's talking about it. And I don't care. My niece cares. She's 15. She cares deeply about Snapchat. But it's not doing it for me. So I love that you bring this up, Tim. I think it's important to look at it as an option, because you never know what the next Blab is going to be. But
I think, and I actually through that crap that I was doing on Thursday and Friday, I used Snapchat to play the story of what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
Didn't get me many followers, but it was fun.
Yeah. Like I said, it's dead to me. Somebody stole my name there. It's unacceptable.
Well,
I'm just being sassy.
Somebody has Coach Jenny. See,
somebody already has Coach Jenny on Snapchat, even though I'm Coach Jenny on Twitter, Facebook, everything. I don't know why you'd want to be Coach Jenny on something else, but go ahead with your back.
I still don't know why people would want to be Tim Gillette.
I hear you, brother.
Wow.
I'm not Tim Gillette on anything.
I'm a little salty about it. Just ignore me. My wife got on Snapchat a couple weeks ago. I think she's done one snap to one human, but she was like, look at me, I can be on there. I'm like, I hate you. What is wrong with you? But no, I don't want to be on every one of them. So here's a question to you. How do you...
I really don't want people, chasing me all over the place. I don't want to look like I'm just flitting about.
Well, and the idea that you were mentioning you have customers on Periscope. That was one of the things that turned me off about Periscope, but it's similar to Facebook Live, right? Now that Facebook Live is a thing, the experience and the presentation of Facebook Live is similar to Meerkat and Periscope. Am I right? Where you're speaking direct to camera, folks can come on, you can see their comments, but that's about it. There's no hearts hitting you in the face, but other than that, it's about the same idea.
I have my customers on Periscope though. I mean, they're viewers. I mean, I'm making announcements.
What I love about Facebook Live, though, and what's making me pay attention is I don't have to start from scratch. On Periscope, I would have to start from scratch and introduce myself to people who have the Periscope app and pay attention. On Facebook, I'm talking to the people that are already friends of mine on Facebook. And I've been loving the people on Facebook since 2007 or something like that. So I have a really strong community there. And so it makes sense for me to get over my fear of scoping, which a lot of my complaints about scoping truly were talking straight to the camera and not being able to talk to you guys, right? I have to get over that because now that excuse is gone and I have an active community who already knows and loves me. So I need to kind of get over that. Once they allow me to talk directly to just my Facebook group, my head's going to explode. That'll be the best.
Great. Because it is fun. It's really fun.
Yeah, I got to get better at it.
I watched Aaron from ProBlogger do. I watched him do a Periscope where he actually took and turned the camera on his computer and did a slideshow.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, that's one thing that Periscope could work for me because I always have PowerPoints to do my videos.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah. A lot of my marketing videos that I do.
I didn't hear that because you froze for me. Can you say it again, Tim?
See, a lot of my videos are PowerPoints. And how I create a lot of what I create my videos for is for training, and I will create it to where there's a little bit of me on face, and then it switches to a PowerPoint. And right now, one of the ones I'm creating for this webinar series is right after they sign up for the webinar, they go to a thank you page, which basically teaches them something about blogging. A video that just automatically teaches them something about blogging.
Nice.
Gives them some free teaching right there. Like, okay, not alone I got a webinar coming up, but you're giving me something now too? Oh, wow, thanks.
Nice.
Tim, do you think that selecting, this is a question for you too, and Durham Skywriter, what is your first name?
Oh, Pat.
Pat. I know your name's not Durham. So, okay, Pat, nice to meet you. Do you folks think that depending on what it is your content is, whether you're teaching a skill or starting a conversation or advertising something, do you think that the platforms matter? Because Tim, in your example, you're saying you're teaching people, here's something they can learn about blogging. Yeah. Very little of what I do is actually teaching a specific targeted skill, a how-to. It's more starting a conversation and asking questions that are none of my business. That's what a coach does, right? So I'm curious. Do you think some platforms you should look at the platform and size up something like Anchor FM with that lens? You
should. All right, yeah. Because you're going into the idea of exactly what you said there. I don't use the teaching directly on here. I get you off of here to get the teaching. Here's the interaction. Mm-hmm. Do we work well together? Do we jive? Can we hang out? Like you and me, Jenny, okay, take the business side of it. You and I could probably hang out in a room and have a shitload of fun. Let's be honest, okay?
We have fun everywhere we go.
I'm trying to see if we're peeps on here. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to give you a taste of something, but connect with you because, you're not going to learn anything from me unless you've connected. What you're using this tool from is exactly what you said. For you, it's different than me.
It is, because I'm demonstrating what I do.
Yeah.
Because what I do is interactive.
Yeah.
Most of what I do is interactive, where you're actually seeing me with another person. So one of the things I'm doing with Blab is it allows me to normalize the experience of coaching. And so you get to see me give somebody a cathartic shove. You're like, oh, that's what that looks like, right? You get to see it in action. So that's what makes Blab work. I don't know how to replicate that on Facebook Live or Periscope, right? I can't actually.
Each app is different, though, because you're not going to see me lugging my laptop around, giving you a tour of Duke Gardens here in Durham. That's to be done with Periscope. Now, as a journalist and a person who's supposedly showing you the best part of Durham, North Carolina, of course, Periscope is going to be very useful as I show you Durham Bulls baseball games, just a snippet. I don't want to get in trouble with Capital Broadcasting. But yeah, and Little League baseball games, the State Fair in Raleigh, like I said, goodwill things like what's going on this weekend when they were feeding the hungry. If I run across someone, I'll be able to say, "Hey, here's the mayor. What do you think of this, Mayor Bell?" And then maybe do a quick interview.
Isn't Periscope the whole idea? Like, isn't the question it asks, like, what are you looking at right now? Like, when you start a Periscope, it starts facing out, not facing you. You have to turn it around to look at you. So the whole point of Periscope, if I understand it, was citizen journalism, right? Where you would be showing the world what you see.
Not only citizen journalism, but also, I guess, tourism of sorts. I really enjoyed in the beginning days of Periscope, where I was amazed at seeing the pyramids up close in Egypt.
Oh, I can't.
I was mostly amazed because the three that you see always, you always think that there's only 3 pyramids. But when I saw the tour that a nice lady on Periscope took us on, I realized that there are really disheveled, disintegrated, really bad-looking pyramids that you don't see on television. And I had never seen anyone take a longer view and show us what, the wider view of what we see on television. I got to see kangaroos in Australia, those giant Easter heads, Easter Island heads. That's what Periscope is really supposed to be all about, showing us the world. And sometimes when I see a lot of salesmen on there, it's cool, I guess. I understand we want to all make money, but sometimes it kind of detracts a little from my experience in enjoying what Periscope is really supposed to have been about originally.
And
then, of course,
its notification sound is also obnoxious. Can we just throw that out there? Like
I shut them off. My wife has hers on at hers, but I shut mine off.
I've never had them on.
That would drive me insane. I had it, like I said, I lived through about 4 days of Periscope before I gave up. Most of it was because of that damn whistle. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I never even heard it because I never turned it on.
Smart.
I was going to shut the anchor ones off. That was getting annoying to me.
Yeah, those are off too. I can go in and see a listing. I don't know. So I guess with Anchor, I want to give it a little more time than I give Periscope. I gave Periscope no time because it scared the crap out of me. And Blab just embraced me. I loved it immediately. So it was so easy to make a choice. In retrospect, I recognize it wasn't really fair to say one or the other. And so I want to stay open-minded to Anchor because as a speaker, it does, and as a coach, it does push me to think about how can I quickly articulate my point and work on that. So that could be cool. But I'm curious to see what the next thing is. I feel like I have to, I don't know about you guys, I just have to stop with the eye roll. That's where I want to get to. Oh, there's another social media thing is what I should be saying, not, oh my God, another social media. Because
I know.
Because we all do it.
We do. And I want to stop eye rolling because, again, you never know what's the next Facebook group or the next Blab or the next whatever your tool of choice is. And if Blab wasn't a thing, I'd cry. I wouldn't know Tim. And who would I make fun of on a Monday afternoon? What would I do?
See, what is the idea they say out there is like, everybody's like, well, no, those people on Periscope are weird. No, we're all weird. Just certain people get our weirdness.
They just don't know. They miss the blab about nothing and the blab about the blab about the blab about
the blab about the blab about the blab about the Snapchat about nothing.
Jeez, that got out of hand.
And sometimes I think it's okay just to let loose and just have fun. I did something really weird today. Now, ordinarily, I'm the journalist, and I'm telling you what's happening here in town, and I'm interviewing this person and interviewing that person. But today, I did something really crazy. There was this dragon. Have you seen that dragon puppet? He was telling everyone to come into the blab and say, my name is Pat, whatever, and I am Blab. And so I think they're going to compile this huge not tape, that's an old fashioned, but whatever, file of everyone saying their name and saying I am Blab. But what I did, I really played it. I said, I'm a journalist. I'm working on a story. I'm really busy right now. So then he went on to the next person. And then a few minutes later, I typed, I'm really, really busy on the story. May I send a representative of the Durham Skywriter? And he laughed me off. He thought I was kidding. I said, no, seriously. And so I called in with a bunny rabbit puppet. So I did not appear on camera. I had the bunny rabbit to represent me. Now, I've never done anything weird or goofy before, but I decided, why not? Why not show another side of you? It's not going to hurt, So
I think it matters. I really do. I know we're going a little off topic here, Tim, but I think it matters that we show our kind of silly side. I think one of the things, we were talking about this on the silly blah, 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 nothing. One of the things that I have somehow been able to pull off here on Blab is I can make fun of people to their faces and everybody laughs. Because they know I'm kind, they know I'm generous, and they know that we all have these weird idiosyncrasies that we do where, and it's just totally fun. What does that have to do with Audacity coaching? Nothing. But it shows you a little bit about who I am, my sense of humor, my personality, and that flipping matters because you're getting to decide whether or not you like me. And you're getting to decide whether or not you like me beyond my fabulous pitch. Hi, I'm Coach Jenny, and now I'm going to give you my little pitch, and I'm going to talk in this monotone and blah, blah, blah. You get to actually see how it would be to have a beer with me. And you know how they talk about we should hire, you pick a president based on who you would have a beer with. I think you pick a coach. I think you pick a social media strategist. You pick a lot of different people based on somebody you would want to have at your dinner table at a dinner party. And you get to decide whether or not you like me. And that's why, Tim and I, we have a lot of fun on Facebook. I'm sorry, I'm Blab here. We have a lot of fun and we make fun of each other and we just have a blast. But I think that matters because it shows exactly what would happen if we were at a conference together. If you run into us at the same conference, that's what's going to happen.
Tim has to put it on. It's going to happen where Jenny and I are going to be at a conference together.
Great. So yeah, I think it's important. And I think there are a lot of people that are afraid of it, frankly, because they come to work and it's like even though they're in the online space, they've kind of put on the suit and tie of what it's supposed to look like to be professional. And that professionalism is suffocating the personality out of their business. Yeah. It depresses me to no end. And frankly, I'm never going to buy from somebody who shows up really plain Jane, doesn't have a sense of humor of some sort. What do you guys think about that?
I agree. And that, again, is why I think it's okay to let loose and just be silly and just let people see what else you're about. I'm not always, I mean, when I'm with my friends, I'm not Pat Murray, the journalist. I'm just Pat Murray. I might be Pat Murray, the toy maker. I make toys. I might be Pat Murray, the guitar player, or Pat Murray who draws really bad cartoons. Why not show another side on Blab? It's they say when you're doing business, like you said, you were saying how people choose who they would want to have a beer with, but you're selling in a way yourself, not your business. So I think it's okay. I think it's fine and it's really fun. And for those who are afraid of Periscope, you don't have to flip the camera around. I've seen people just show a beautiful scene. And in fact, you can do it as a coach. You can show a beautiful scene and just have a little, like a nice little beautiful statement or whatever. And then drag them over to Blab and just say, for more information, you can see me on Blab on Thursdays or whatever. And just make a nice little statement every now and then. Show a waterfall or
I could piss everybody off and show them how everybody's outside at the pool right now in the middle of February. Would that be okay?
Oh, you're in.
I'm in LA. I'm a new LA person too, so I'm obnoxious about it. You know
wonderful.
When I moved to Dallas in 1998, I thought it was great here. I loved it. It was December of 1998. Okay.
Where'd you move from, Tim? Where were you?
From Philadelphia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So when I get here, it's 55 degrees, and I'm like, oh, this is great. The minister at my church sits down with me, and he says, Tim, first year, you're going to love it. Second year, you're going to think this is a cool place to be at the wintertime. He says, but after you've been here 5 years, you're going to walk outside, and it's going to be 55 degrees, and you're going to be like, oh, I need a coat. It's freezing out here.
That's funny.
I'm so sorry, love, but it's 72 degrees here and gorgeous outside. Sunny and gorgeous. I told all my friends I get to be obnoxious about it for one winter, especially my close friends who live in Boston and New York and Philly. Philly's in the house here, in DC, and that have been snowed in a lot. I get to be obnoxious this year, but you've been here 47 years, Melissa says, and she's obnoxious about it. I know, it's so great. I'm loving it. And
I do love the sunny South.
He's from Philly too. You guys should connect.
Yeah. I don't live there anymore, or any less.
You should still connect. I think you would like each other. I'm just saying. So I need to go eat my lunch that I finally cooked. So thank you guys.
So what's for lunch?
Polenta and meatballs.
Nice. Enjoy.
It's good too.
What was that, Tim?
The girl eats good too.
I do indeed. So I'm going to eat my lunch. I'm going to keep listening, but thanks for having me on. And there's some folks in here that should get their butts in the seats. I'm just saying.
Yeah, let me hop off and finish my story I was working on, and somebody else can jump in.
Pat, thank you for jumping in today. It's been great having you as part of the conversation.
All right.
Jenny, thank you. I appreciate you as always. Guys, if you want to pop in and talk about anything that you got on this, all right, more than welcome to grab a seat. All right, and we'll bring it in. We're going to bring Nathan in real quick here on we're talking about we've been talking about the idea of so many tools being introduced out there. When do we actually sit back and go, okay, I'm confused by all this stuff. What do I do? Nathan, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. Good.
So in answer to your question, you might turn to someone like me because in my other life, I work as a tech writer and I work for online magazines. And part of what I do is help people sort through all those things and find what, in my opinion at least, what I think are some of the best tools. So as an example, if you're into mobile and you're just building mobile sites and you're not worried about the responsive thing, my number one choice for doing mobile sites is a system called GoMobi. Initially, they just were for mobile and tablets, but now they've expanded to the desktop. But when they were just on mobile and tablets, as far as I was concerned, and they were just the easiest tool to use and fun, actually. The only caveat is if you do use it, don't rely on their source code editor for editing HTML. You'll need to use an external one like Dreamweaver or something. That's it.
Cool. Well, that's it. I mean, because most people don't know when they're stuck in this. And let's face it, we were talking earlier in the blab about how some of the people out here, they're social media gurus, to use the name of their whole purpose is to find out what's new, what's hot, and to tell you the benefits and the goods and the bad. And too many of us can listen to that and become distracted. And that's what we want to do, is we want to find the people who specialize in this area. Me, again, I tell people I specialize in blogging. So a lot of these apps that come out, if I can't find a way to incorporate it into blogging to attract more people to my blog, attract more people, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I'm going to pass you off to Nathan. It goes, Nathan can teach you how to use it mobily. All right. And that's it.
Yeah.
Rather than all of us teach everything, all of us get involved in everything, because we can't. Sooner or later, you become so distracted, you don't get any business done.
It's true. And we can't wear all the hats. I mean, like one of the things that I've been working on lately is a couple of different sites and where I'm doing interviews, and the problem I run into is the transcribing. Well, it takes too much time for me to transcribe, so I have to find people to help me do it. Mm-hmm. Can't wear all the hats.
No. So, and I mean, there come down to some stuff that I changed last year in my business that I stopped doing. and I moved it on and had someone else do it. And if I couldn't get them to do it, I just, okay, I don't need that part of my business anymore. And I used to do a huge conference twice a year in Dallas, big thing. And I'd say, okay, that's it. I'm done doing it. I'm not going to do it anymore. Why? Because it wasn't serving my purpose and I wasn't good at it. I really sucked at it.
You know, it's really great to have this conversation with you, because it's something that's been coming up for me, like with these shows. Like one of them, it's not integral to my long-term direction, but it's still something that can help me because I'm doing interviews and it's good practice. But the other one that is integral to my direction, I just built the framework for it last night, and I was thinking about it, and because my long-term goal, like, unless I'm sorely mistaken with you, you have a radio show, is that correct?
Yes.
So one of the things that I really want to do is to build myself a large online following, although the people I'm working with, my mentors, are saying to me, you need to be on TV. So part of what I need to learn is about that. And I don't know if we can talk offline, and maybe you can give me some direction that way, but I would appreciate some help.
Yeah. So yeah, you got, because that's some of the stuff I do. Give you some pointers, send you down the areas that would probably benefit you best, and ones that wouldn't. Ones that, like, yeah, don't worry about that one. And that's the focus of the conversation today, is knowing where to do that. But how many people are not willing to do what you just did, Nathan? Hey, maybe we should connect offline and go and see if you can help me get the right place. That's why I had Jenny on here. We're both coaches. We're in the business of pointing people in the right direction.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I followed you a while ago. I ran into you on another blab, a couple of other blabs. I forget which ones. And what's been happening is I've been building a following. I've developed some really great fans for what I'm doing out of Australia, and they've been coaching me and giving me stuff. And then it just suddenly dawned on me, wait a second, I'm on your show. I know you have a radio show. I should be asking you these questions.
Yeah.
So at another time, I don't know if this is the right time to do it, but, happy to send you a direct message. And
yeah, go over to Twitter, send me a direct message, and we'll connect over there, and we'll take it offline and talk about it. So,
yeah, I'd like that very much.
Yeah, I'm always willing to give people pointers and tell you, some of the people I know, even people I know in the industry, that probably help you take the next steps. So
that would be really awesome, because I'm really clear on my direction. I know what I want to do. I have an idea of what to do. I've interviewed celebrities already, which is part of what I want to do. And I just, I have an idea of what to do, but not how to get there. So that will be the next step. So is there anything else I can be of service to you here?
That's it, man. That's all we're doing today, is just discussing that. So, I mean, it's great to connect with you. Great to get your view of an opinion on how to make things work, because most people think that it's just Tim Gillette. Tim doesn't have all the answers. That's why I bring other people on the show.
Hey, nobody's got all the answers. If we did, we'd be God, in which case that might be terrifying, but that's another story.
That I would be God, scare the crap out of people, including me.
Thanks for having me on, Tim. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming by, Nathan. Does anybody else want to jump in and before I wrap this up and talk about maybe what you're confused about in online and all the new apps and stuff like that, and maybe find some direction? Basically, a breakdown of what we talked about today was we talked about so many online tools with the new things starting up. We talked about, in the last week we've had what was it, Anchor start, but people are talking about Snapchat, and before that it was MeV, and before that it was there just gets to be so many of them that they keep going up and coming up. And how do we find out where do we use them and how we use them, or if they even belong in our world of talking about things? Because so many people don't know what direction they should be taking. So that's what we talked about today. And the conversation went on, using different apps for different things, and using the things right, maybe connecting with your local community in some cases, and connecting with using the right apps to do that. So I don't know if anybody even is, Melissa, to tell you the truth. I'm not. And I know Bonnie L. Frank might be. I've not really had a one-on-one conversation with Bonnie. I am doing Bonnie's Periscope Challenge on part of this week, which I think you had to have signed up by today to be part of the challenge, which is an interesting twist for me, because I'm still trying to say, I'm still on the edge of keeping Periscope in my repertoire or not. So, but I like Facebook Live. Yeah, see, I'm thinking of doing Facebook. I'm doing more Facebook Live than anything. So, and that's where I'm thinking, because I had a following on Facebook that I can connect with already, and jumping on Blab, I grew the community in here faster than any other thing I'd ever been on. As fast as I did. I think I'm at 1,300 followers on here. And I'm following right around the same amount of people. I connect back and forth. If you follow me, I kind of follow you back, unless you're a weirdo. I don't.
Oh, shoot. Dang. I gotta go.
No, because the idea behind the platform here is community and building relationships back and forth. So that's why I did that. But when I came on here, this is one that works for me. Periscope, I've been on Periscope since last April when I joined it, and I still don't think I have 400 people or 500 people following me on there that are connected with. And I'm not on it as regular as I am here. I'm sure if I put like after this 10 days or whatever with Bonnie, if I find out I get more of a following, then I will stick to it and build a plan. So, a streaming voice, are you using Snapchat or Anchor? If you're using Snapchat first, put a 1 in the box right now. Not many, huh? Crickets, yeah. Of 9 people in the room, 1 person's using Snapchat.
I haven't even downloaded it.
You're using Anchor. All right, 2. Okay. Oh, and I'm in the wrong room. If you're using Anchor, all right, put a 1 in there. So.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head, Tim, when you said, so many things coming out, and if it doesn't fit what you're doing, then don't do it. I mean,
yeah, if it doesn't,
you can listen to people and get a feel for what the app or tool does, and judge for yourself.
Yeah. It's like, and I brought up earlier in
download it and try it just a short term, and then decide.
Yeah. And I brought in there, you know how you're following Joel too as well, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Bill?
Yep.
Joel Kahn. Something new comes up, I expect Joel Kahn to go check it out. I expect him to tell me what he loves about it. I expect to claim, go see his scopes onto it. Go see his why? That's his entire business model, is his checking these new things out and giving you guys ideas and educations. So,
yeah, and even Joel, he didn't get into Snapchat right away, and he's not using it for any kind of business purpose. It's just entertainment for him.
Yeah. Anchor is an app, by the way, Compass Media. Anchor is an app, Alan, and I don't know. What is even the website onto it? I don't know. You can watch some of the stuff on the website.
It's Anchor.fm.
Anchor.fm. And I'm actually on the thing trying to look to see if I can find even what it looks like. I can't. So it's like, all right, thanks. Thanks, Melissa, for putting that in there. No, so I'll put that up there. Shall we actually answer that question? See, because I want to make sure we cover everything in here. So, but the idea is, if you're not using these guys, you got to find out what you use. That's it. I'm trying to figure out by taking this challenge with Bonnie L. Frank is, okay, am I going to keep Periscope, or am I going to go back and start using Facebook Live? Because to me, they kind of serve the same purpose. I'm thinking about doing 2 different ideas, 2 different shows on 2 different sites, 2 different things. So I originally was going to do Tim's 3 at 3 on Facebook Live, but my 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm not always available to where I can get on a screen. So I had to take away that one to where I couldn't be on at 3 o'clock every day. I've got to engineer them to work for me. My Periscope one was the most famous one. Was I actually did a From the Heart, and I thought about keep doing that, where I just something that's on my mind, I'm going to get online and talk about it and open up. That was a huge thing for me, because when I had that happen in that month's time, I had a huge upswing, and people getting into my programs that month, both of them, both my blogging program as well as my mastermind. And I think they seen a true side to me. So.
Yeah, and that gets to another point about all these tools is, things like Periscope and everything else. Unless you use them, they're not going to grow for you. Like you were talking about your Periscope following. The more you use it, the more following you're going to get.
Yeah. No. Well, with that, guys, I'm going to close down. Basically, I got to go down here. An actor friend of mine has a acting school close by, and I want to go actually see him. I haven't seen him in a while because he's all busy with his new TV show. So when he's in town.
Are you doing your shows now at the same time all the time, or?
No, I'm not. I'm still trying to find the ideal time. I was going to do it at 3:00 today, but Jenny had one scheduled that would have changed it, would have taken the conversation. I didn't want to split the audience, so I always look to make sure when I schedule my shows, I look to make sure that someone I know is not talking about something with a similar subject. You know what I mean? It's like if you have two people talking at the same time about Snapchat, it becomes a competition, which, you know what I mean? It's not a draw. Right. Whereas so I went in Jenny's conversation, I was worried it was going to be something different than it was. So I didn't want to schedule them together. I scheduled it far enough apart to where hers would have been ending by the time mine started. So
yeah, well, it presents a problem for me because, as you saw, I came in late. That's because I don't get notifications anymore.
You don't get notifications anymore?
I haven't for quite a while.
Oh.
Don't know what happened, but all of a sudden they just stopped showing up.
Yeah. So, and guys, if this is your first time to come visit my show, I appreciate you. Thanks for everybody who stopped in and gave us some feedback on this. I do appreciate everyone who comes by. We like to have very interesting subjects here on the Rock Around Your Blog. This is episode number 51 in the books, overdone. And I'm actually putting together a catalog of all 51 shows. And I'm going to make a separate web page where we can get to every one of them on my website. And we'll be able to you'll be able to see those as well on it. I'll have it all set up on a website. But the idea behind Rock Around Your Blog is telling your personal story to build your business and building a personal brand to attract the customers you want. If you want to find out more about some of the trainings I do, the more in-depth things I teach people on how to use your blog, how to attract the customers and clientele you want with the blog, how to tell your personal story, how to convert your personal story, things like that. It is all covered on the webinars series and training series online that we have coming up. They are not held on Blab. They are held on a private website to where you have to have invitation to get there. If you want to get signed up on that list to find out more about it, go to rockaroundyourblog.com. It'll take you to the webinar sign-up page, and it'll just let you know. We'll send you an email saying, hey, we've got your name on the list. We'll keep you updated on when the next class is. So you can go there and do that. And also, if you're on my webpage, there's also a sign-up form there for my video interactive newsletter. But you can get both if you sign up for just the webinar list and then send me an email response, say, hey, add me to that other one. I'll add you to it. So let me put that thing in there. Rock around. I think that's it, right? So if you want to find out some of the other blabs I've done, all right, we put all of our blabs at Blab Rockstar. That's all of the blabs I've done and all the blog posts we've created from them. So that's the two areas you can find me offline. If you want to maybe get with me one-on-one, I don't have a sign-up form for that on my website. What I will say is connect with me through either the contact form on my website and just send me a message. Say, hey, Tim, can I have a one-on-one chat with you? I'll give you 30 minutes of my time to come out and see if we can't help you with whatever it is you're dealing with and help you in something in your online presence. So that's me, Tim Gillette, checking out for another episode of Rock Around Your Blog. Time to stop letting the online tools put you into a land of confusion. We should have another one out tomorrow or Wednesday. We should have one out, and we'll be in touch. Talk to you guys later. Have a great day.